Hey, it's your friend Christiano, and welcome to the Queer Quest podcast. Hello, and welcome, all you fabulous souls. So today, I really wanted to talk about something because last week I ran a workshop for my Queer Quest Pro clients, and we were focused on spirituality and inner peace. Every single month, we do a different area of the queer wellness wheel of life. And this month has been all about spirituality, which has been super, super cool. And a part of that section, we were talking about queer-friendly spiritual practices. Because I know that there are so many of us out there who want to go deeper into our journey. And sometimes we feel like going into some of these spaces may not feel safe. Even though it's wrapped up in rainbows and unicorns, sometimes it can feel a little daunting, a little intimidating. I know for me, in my own experience, I felt like that in the past, and I've had to push through a lot of those things. I've had to overcome a lot of that stuff. I had to work on my confidence and put myself out there in order for me to be able to continue to go further down my path of spirituality. So I'm going to share about 15, 20 different spiritual practices that are queer friendly, that if you have been someone who's wanting to maybe take a step further in your own spirituality, then this is going to be perfect for you. But before we jump into that, what I would love for you to be able to do, because I know you're going to get some value out of this today, would you be able to, wherever you are listening to, whatever platform you are, be able to like this, follow this, comment below, share it, leave us a review. Whatever you do, that's going to be great, because that will boost everything up. And it's going to allow other people in the queer community to see this episode, and they're going to get some value out of it too. So if you could do that quickly, that would be amazing. But let's jump in. So we're going to start with the kind of beginner area, because that's cool. That's where we want to start with. So I'm going to name a few different things here in this aspect that I think are going to be easy for people who are maybe just on that first step. So the first thing is queer affirming meditations. Now, what does that mean? There are guided meditations out there that truly are available to affirm your identity. I've actually created a whole load of them myself. They're, available to watch or to listen to, in the Queer Quest podcast platforms. If you scroll back a bit, there's a whole load there. In this actual, wherever you're listening to this, you probably scroll up and find another episode, and you'll notice that there are quite a few different meditations. Also all available in the Queer Quest Pro platform. So if you're someone who really is looking to maybe hit further into your journey of meditation, and maybe doing it on your own and sitting there quietly hasn't worked for you, try finding queer affirming meditations that are going to be suitable for you on your journey. Next one, I love this part myself. It's called intentional journaling. This is where we look at writing letters to our inner child, to our higher self, or to our queer ancestors, asking the questions that feel really important to us as queer people. Something like, what do I need to feel safe in my own skin today? If you ask your inner child, if you ask a higher self, if you ask your queer ancestors, you're probably going to realize that you're going to find a different answer. So it's important that you get yourself into a nice state and really be focused on the person or people that you are trying to connect with, so that when you really ask the question, you can try to get the answer from their perspective as well. And sometimes you just need to write the question and just allow whatever comes into your mind to go down onto paper, or type it on your phone, whatever is good for you, because that's when you get the real magic. Sometimes just pulling it out of the head and out of the ether is going to really give you maybe what your next step is needed. So that's a really good thing. And I love journaling. All my clients love journaling, just because it's really good for self-awareness and really just helping you get to know yourself even deeper, which is really what spirituality is all about. Another one that I think is so important, it's called nature walks out in, out of course in nature, but doing it while you're really living your presence. So being in nature, as your full self, consciously, it really can feel deeply liberating, especially doing it on your own. And you can let the earth witness you unapologetically queer, and realize that they see you and they don't judge you, right? If you go out into the peace and the nature, there ain't no judgments. And that's a really pivotal thing for people in the queer community to realize, which is why I think, hiking, walking on the beach, just going out into the forest, whatever it is that suits you, and just getting out there in nature, whether sitting there or having a nice walk, you're going to feel a real sense of presence. And then you can really tap in and really get yourself, into a place of real, affirmation and really acceptance as well, which is really what we're looking for as well. Another one is a super easy one, lighting a candle. And I call it candle magic. And so what we do here is you light a candle, you speak your truth aloud in front of it and really just honor it. And you then can close your eyes or you can start to visualize the flame flickering and changing the colors of what it is so that it resonates with your identity or your intentions, and just allowing you to sit there to really stare into it and allow yourself just to be present. Because that's often a really key thing that so many of us struggle to do because we've got so much going on up here. We live in an internalized world, and sometimes it's just good to just sit there and really focus your intention and just be clear of who you are. Another one that a lot of people like to start with is building like a little altar or like a little section of your home where you can have like a sacred space and it reflects your identity. It includes symbols, things that you bought on your travels maybe, that just represent you, your queerness, your ancestors, your spiritual beliefs, and your creative self-expression. And it's all yours. So it can be created however you like, but it really what it does is it sparks something for you. It might spark joy. It might spark peace. It might spark real, honest feedback for yourself whenever you look at it. Go, I can't pretend anymore, Whatever it does, have it represent that and allow it to see how it shifts for you. Having something around there is a sacred space for you as well. And then another super simple one is queer affirmations. So, it could be something like, my queerness is divine. My love is sacred. There is power in my softness. I know who I am. I love who I am. I am true to who I am. Say them, feel them, and continue to say them and feel them, because that's the point. And the power of affirmations is just allowing yourself to have an emotion that you attach towards a saying and saying it over and over again so you can tap into that energy. And that really allows you to maybe walk a path with strength, with courage, with happiness, with kindness, with compassion, with whatever really feels like you need to know in that moment. So that's really cool. So those are the first 6, and they're from the beginner section. So we've got the meditations, the journaling, the, nature walks, the candle magic, the altar building, and the queer affirmations. So are you ready to embark on a journey of transformation that's uniquely yours? Welcome to QueerQuest, the world's first and best personal development platform created by and for the queer community. Imagine a space where your authenticity isn't just accepted, it's celebrated. A place where you can grow, learn, and thrive alongside a vibrant community that understands you. At QueerQuest, we're more than just a platform. We're a family. Connect with like-minded individuals, share your stories, and empower each other to reach new heights. Our tailored courses are designed to address the unique experiences of the queer community, from self-love and confidence building to career advancement and beyond. We've got you covered. It's time to step into your power and transform your journey. Join us today at courses.queerquest.vip, see what we're all about, and sign up to begin your quest. So let's move into the intermediate one, which is a bit of a deeper soul work. So we'll start with somatic practices that are definitely designed for queer embodiment. So this is things like breath work, intuitive movement, or shaking, which can really, truly, all of these things release stored shame and negative emotions and trauma from the body. So being able to breathe it out, things like ecstatic dancing, intuitive movement, shaking, really allow you to just release shame from your nervous system out of the body so that you can start that healing process. Now, you could do that with a number of practitioners, or you can just start to intuitively put on some music that feels really soulful to you and just allow yourself and your body to move in a way that just is natural. Don't think about it. Don't try to impress anybody. Just do it and see what happens as you, because your body knows, and remembers everything. And so for you to clear it out sometimes with just some nice intuitive movements and dancing ecstatically, whatever it is going to be good for you. And again, there's other things. So if you want to find, some of these people who can really teach that, there are plenty of people online that you can reach out to for breath work and, other somatic modalities. Some people like to literally grab a pillow and really, like, when they're deep into that strong emotion, just like scream into the pillow and just get out all of the frustration or the anger out of the body. That really, really works. So things like that are going to be helpful for you to release that stored shame, the stored anger, the stored negative emotions, the stored trauma from the nervous system, from the body. Other ones might be something like a tarot or oracle card reading. Now, I know there are a number of queer inclusive decks out there. I'm actually, planning to build one myself. But I really want you to look at and imagine using decks that really celebrate your queer identity and your imagery. You can pull cards around identity, healing, love, and self-worth. Find one that really supports you and affirms you, because it's going to be cool. And you might just, instead of buying the deck, you might just be able to simply buy a deck, or you might find someone out there who is an expert tarot or oracle card reader and get your own personalized readings, because those are really cool and can really help you to release something that you need to in order to heal and grow. Or it could just give you some really deep messages in the direction of where you really, your next steps in life as well. Maybe they can help support a feeling that you haven't necessarily felt confident enough to take action on, and they can help support that for you as well. Then there's deeper work like shadow work through a queer lens, which is what I do with my one-on-one clients. So this is us exploring their suppressed desires, the internalized queerphobia, homophobia, transphobia, or, it could be the fear of being seen. Many, many things that we struggle with, that our shadow self is bringing to the surface. Instead of it being something to push away, we need to look at and to heal, and then allow ourselves to connect. So really what happens is when we have a shadow self and a light self, and there's a conflict there, there's a disconnect. We need to figure out how we can talk to our higher self, connect that conflict back together so it meets the same point, the same intention. And that's when you bring the shadow and the light together. And that's what really real deep healing looks like. So I do that with a lot of my one-on-one clients as well. But there are so many different people out there who also focus on shadow work. I just think it's a really important part of the work that I do as a queer transformation coach as well. You can go into the astrology from a queer aspect. I call it queer astrology. So this could be you studying your chart from a non-binary, a gay, bisexual, agender, whatever it is, liberation-based framework. So you can learn how queerness shows up in your planes, your placements, and your patterns, your stars, your moons, all of those things. And you'll be able to really notice, like, how is this all affecting me? And really, like, how is it showing up for me in positive ways, so that I can really see that. And that can spark some deeper healing as well. Now, a lot of people out there do like full moon, half moon, blood moon, pink moon rituals. Now, we can do this, what we look at from, a queer cycle as well. And you can work with the new moon and the full moon to set those intentions, to release any fear, hold in love or other emotions that you really want to hold on to, joy. And you can do it in self-expression, so in drag, do it naked, do it your way. This is what's cool about it, is that we get to see that there's these things out there, but we as queer people can take it on and go, hang on a second, I could do that, but I can do it the way that feels aligned to me, right? And expression, self-expression along the way is key and pivotal for creating that space for you as well. Now, there's also things like sacred queer community circles. So this is gathering with other queer folks to share stories, to cry, to chant, to hold hands, and witness each other in healing. Now, I know in some big cities, they do this more often. They have like gay and queer meditation circles. Even here in Bali, when I first came here, they were doing a queer circle where, we'd meet on the beach and we would all share what we're struggling with at that moment, and just reflect it back to people and support each other. So there are great things like that can be of benefit to so many people out there. And it's just trying to figure it out. Of course, I have my own inner circle in Queer Quest Pro of a group of great, queer people that really connect. And some of them become really close friends, which is really inspiring. And that's a healing thing as well, to be able to meet people that are on your level as well, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Cool. So those are the ones that I've noticed that are in the intermediate section. So we had the somatic practices like breath work, ecstatic dancing, shaking. There was the tarot or the oracle cards. We had the shadow work. the queer astrology, the moon rituals, and then those sacred queer community circles. And now I'll move on to the advanced section, which is all like mystical and sacred reclamation. So, first of all, at the top of the list here is plant medicine ceremonies. Now, these are often led, in safe, intentional containers, and these can unlock ancestral memories and identify healing that you need to go on, especially when held in queer-centric space. Now, I've done a lot of plant medicine. I went to Peru. I did a whole ayahuasca retreat, and that was a life-changing experience for me, not only in healing, but in growth and just really connecting to myself spiritually. What I experienced in that week was far beyond anything that I had imagined beforehand. And it opened my eyes to so much more of what the universe is about and what I'm about and my purpose and my passion. So I really believe in it. Now, I do know that there are some people out there who do run queer kind of plant medicine retreats to start figuring out how to find those as well, or just finding a practitioner or a person who knows that's really good at it, that is supportive of queer people. Not necessarily always, because, oftentimes the journey is very internal, so you don't necessarily need to have everyone around you be queer to have your own journey and experience. But sometimes there's containers for that, and that can also help and lead for you to have a deeper queer-centric healing and healing experience as well. Now, there's other things like ancestor reverence. So this is really where you connect to queer ancestors, whether it's Marsha, Audrey, your queer lineage, but also honor your chosen family who shaped your soul. So this is where, there are mystics around the world who run beautiful things, and the shamans who really honor the ability to really connect to your ancestors. And so being able to do that and connect on a queer lineage and understand the queer people that came before you and the experiences they had, and then what they've passed down to us, genealogically as well, it's super interesting to really figure out as well, and something I'm looking forward to going further into myself. Then there is queer tantra or sacred sexuality. Now, this is engaging in embodied sacred sexual practices that honor your full sensual self, free from the cis heteronormative expectations. Then these people really try to help, connect you energetically and heal you on a sexual space, because, of course, for especially people who are, gay, lesbian, bisexual, have issues with their sexuality, or even people who are non-binary, like connecting to the parts of our body that we feel shame around and really healing that and just honoring how we can create a better space for sexual practices and experiences, so that they're not just, there's so much hookup culture and things that are just mindless and numbness, that it's about how to have engaged, real, embodied sexual experiences. And so there are a lot of people out there who focus on tantra or sacred sexuality from that queer perspective. And again, just about finding them. Then we've got beautiful stuff that I've done many, many times. Energy healing, Reiki, pranic, whatever it is. And there are many queer practitioners out there. So this is you exploring your energy centers, your chakras, your meridians from a queer affirming perspective. Especially powerful because it's really about healing shame and gender dysphoria and identity-based trauma. And I think this is something that everyone can get some love and attention from doing as well. Then, channeling or mediumship is another one. And this can be channeling or mediumship of connecting to queer guides, whether we're able to learn how to channel ourselves, or we follow other people who really know how to do it. Now, I know some of the big gurus out there like Abraham Hicks, Esther and Harry, Esther and Jerry, they did this for many years. And I know that Esther still does some stuff around here. But these are advanced practitioners who channel queer. We can find people who channel queer spirit guides, past life selves, or higher queer consciousness, give us some answers and maybe give us some direction so we don't feel stuck or we don't feel lost. And then finally, queer shamanic journeying. This is just exploring the non-physical realms to retrieve parts of your queer soul that were once rejected, silenced, or exiled. This is powerful stuff. So again, this is the advanced section. We had plant medicine, ancestor reverence, queer tantra or sacred sexuality. You've got the energy healing. You've got the channeling or mediumship. Mediumship's talking to the other side, as we know. And then there's the final part, which is the queer shamanic journey. So again, it doesn't matter if you are a beginner, you are an intermediate, you are an advanced expert. There's so many things out there that can help support you on your journey of spirituality. And again, I shared a lot of these with my private clients on the weekend at the last workshop, who are the people who were in QueerQuest Pro. And again, if someone's interested in finding out more, I'm just going to link that below. I've also got a guide that's free, available for everyone to download. I'm going to link it below. It's called the Journey to Queer Healing, and it really talks about the 18 stages from prior to coming out all the way to full self-acceptance, peace, love within yourself as a queer person. It's important for us to understand maybe where we're at so that we understand the next step on our healing journey. So I'll link that below. And again, that's something that maybe will be of use for you guys as well. All right. I'll be back next week with another episode. If you could do me a favor and like, subscribe, comment, write a review so that someone else in the community who really needs to see this and hear this can get this, that would be of absolute amazingness. But until then, until next week, always remember that you've got this and I've got you. Bye for now.